The last thing I remember before the floor met my face was the sound of her voice, cold, casual. "You should have signed the mortgage." No fear, no shame, just irritation. Her husband's bloodied knuckles were still trembling when she said it. I was on the floor, my shoulder hummed uselessly from its socket. The taste of iron filled my mouth. All I could think was, this is my sister, my own sister. They wanted me to be their guarantor, a simple favor, she called it. Their mortgage had been denied twice, their credit shredded. And when the bank suggested bringing in a trusted family member, my name was first on her tongue. I said no, calmly, respectfully. She smiled, then went silent, for weeks, until that night. I went to their house to return a folder, some property papers she'd left at mine. He opened the door, already drunk. I could smell it, the sour, heavy kind of alcohol that makes men violent. Before I could speak, his fist met my face. Once, twice, then again. He kept shouting something about loyalty, about betrayal, about how I was ruining their future. I don't remember every word, just the pain, and her standing there, watching. When it was over, she stepped forward, knelt beside me, and whispered, "You should have just signed, Sarah. We're family." Then they left me on the floor. I don't know how long I crawled before I reached my car, or how I drove with one good arm and one good eye. But I made it, to my parents' house. I remember banging on the door, my father opening it. His face, I'll never forget that look. He called the police, the ambulance, the lawyer, all within minutes. When I woke up in the hospital, he was sitting beside me. He didn't ask if I was okay. He just said, quietly, "We'll handle it." And when he said, "we," I knew something in him had shifted too. The police came that night. They took my statement, the photos, the medical report. But that wasn't what horrified them. It was the footage. Because my father had cameras installed at my sister's house years ago, after a theft incident she never knew about. He never removed them. He had everything. The moment her husband hit me, her standing by, emotionless. Her voice, clear as day, saying, "You should have signed the mortgage." The officers went silent. Then one of them muttered, "Jesus Christ." The next morning my father called the bank, had them pull every record, every fraudulent document they'd filed. Turns out they'd already forged my signature once. That mortgage application had my name, signed perfectly. Only it wasn't me. My father handed everything to the police. Forgery, fraud, assault. They didn't stand a chance. But I didn't want them just punished. I wanted them undone. The investigation took weeks. While they were being questioned, I stayed silent. Didn't answer calls, didn't show up to court. I let the system work. Then I worked around it. I contacted his employer, a property firm, sent them the footage. They fired him on the spot. Her job? I didn't have to do much. When the local news picked up the story, couple charged in mortgage fraud and assault, her company didn't hesitate. Suspended, then terminated. Their accounts were frozen. Their house foreclosed before they could even pay the first installment. By the end of the month, they had nothing. Not even a reputation left to hide behind. When the case finally went to trial, I showed up. Not for closure, just confirmation. She didn't look at me at first. But when the judge played that clip, her words echoing through the courtroom, her composure cracked. She tried to cry. Too late. He got 2 years. She got 1 for aiding and abetting forgery. My father didn't stay for sentencing. He simply said, "We take care of our own," even when that means taking them down. 6 months later, she came to see me, fresh out, thin, tired, broken in a way that even prison couldn't fix. She stood at my doorstep, clutching a plastic bag of her things. "I lost everything," she whispered. Please, just help me get back on my feet." I looked at her, the sister who'd watched me bleed, who'd chosen silence over humanity. And I said, "You should have thought about that before you watched me crawl." Then I closed the door. People ask me if I've forgiven her, if I still think of that night. I do. Every time I see the scar above my brow. Every time my shoulder aches when it rains. But it's not pain anymore. It's proof. Proof that silence isn't weakness. That revenge doesn't need rage. It needs precision. And sometimes the signature you don't give is the one that seals their fate.